I got to this bit in the video where I remembered them saying how very, 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 very cold it was down in Antarctica. And they've just got coats on. Surely he would have had the fur hats and all like that, even there. It's more military-like, doesn't it? What kind of hats are they? It's very, very, very cold down there. Very, very. I don't know why these ones are walking by with white on, and I don't think you see it at North Speed. The same, but it's very, very cold down there. Anyway, on with the video. In the video they say that they can't put the boat along the ice because of all the ice falling down, you know, like this. But so look where they're positioned to get that footage. Don't you think that's incredible? Look at that, they're right there. I thought they weren't supposed to be anywhere near where the ice was collapsing round this barrier, but there they are, they're on top of it. None of it adds up. It's all crazy. It's all just a program, another program. It's all just not real. Again, you can't have Admiral Byrd changing all the time in front of you and you didn't notice it. Anyway, let's get on with the next bit. It's even got an F on it. Did you see that? Let's just go back. Where is it? There. It's even an F. This has just collapsed into the sea. It should be white, but it's black. It's got an F on it.
Admiral Richard Byrd explored more uncharted land than any other man in history. He was a man of action, but he was a man of thought as well. An explorer and a scientist, an adventurer and a philosopher, a complete man. One of the men in history who had to lead the way.
This bit hit got me, even the beginning of the video. Just waiting for it to catch up. He changes. To that person. So he went from one person to a different person. Let's go back. A younger, thinner person. I think he did, but I'm not sure. Just crazy. It's just all crazy. Anyway, it's got whatever that is. Oh, do excuse me, it's quite late when I'm doing this video. Anyway, it's got something up there. I don't know what that is. A couple of those appear in it, like little feathers, or I don't know what they are. Mark on his head then, glitchy eye. Looks like two totally different people stuffed together now.
On this expedition, we hope to fly across the South Pole into the mysterious land beyond to see what is there. To the cameraman who made this picture, I want to give full credit. They did not hesitate to risk their lives at their job. Now the North Pole is the center of a deep ocean, whereas the South Pole is the center of a high plateau, which averages 7,000 or 8,000 feet in altitude. There is no life whatever beyond the edge of the world. There are no Eskimos. It is too cold for human beings to live there permanently. When we left on this expedition, we were, to put it very mildly, extremely anxious to find out if it existed. Would we be able to find it? And that was the great question.
He's just there to introduce Admiral Byrd. But even Admiral Byrd changes the video. Yeah, you look there from there. Yeah, he is a bit younger there. Looks different there. To there. Just listening to the same voice put over the top and everybody's believing it's that. It looks quite different there. And quite different here as well. Very mechanical, this one. Yeah, it went funny then. And then I found the little beauty. We're going to go back and have a look at it. Don't know if you saw it then, but we are going to go back. Oops, here we come. Oh, this is very strange as well. Come on, video, go back. It's so difficult sometimes. I have to do it all manually, and it just, you know, occasionally you don't get it. You know, it takes a couple more seconds than you thought. Getting to that bit, I am going to find it, don't you worry, I know I did. Here we go. Ah, there we go. Ta-da! There's always got to be a piece. Always got to be a piece. Gotta be a piece. There you go. Superimposed. Superimposed. Can't sing at all, but there you go. Superimposed. To superimpose. Load of rubbish. God, it just so annoys me. It doesn't matter if I only found that piece, which would have been about 2 seconds in the 10 minutes. Whole thing's fake. Just for that one reason. Because it just wouldn't happen. And it's just massive changing. Look at that, like it's just massively changing. Anyway, I'm going to stick this in the middle of the video and then people can then watch the rest of it themselves, and then hopefully they'll see what I'm saying even better. Maybe I'll put it a bit more at the beginning, don't know, but there you go. Look at that, look at that, look at that. He almost an actor out of the films, English actor in the 60s, did Bridge Over the River, what's the name? And yeah, there's that thing in the water which I found was really strange. Line appears sometimes. Amazing they could even get some of these footages because no one else has ever been there except them, and they're able to film it even with, you know, the ice crushing. It would be so nice, wouldn't it, if we knew things were real. think that's a scene for something else. Just open your mind and have a look. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh, we're getting to the end now. Maybe not like now we zoomed out a bit, but when you zoom in you can see other stuff. And my feeling was, well, the ice isn't that high here, is it, at all, for the boat to be able to more miraculously. And I just wondered what that was. He's got no legs, he's all a bit weird. What is this? What is that supposed to be? A Chinese ship? It's got wings on it, I think. Anyway, it's just the ice. But it looks like it's something else. Anyway, they had their faces masked out. Oh, another yawn, sorry. Anyway, I zoomed in a bit to do this footage, so they had their faces covered up.
We left on this expedition from the Navy Yard at Boston. Here is our supply ship, the Rupert, just a big unprotected iron ship of 8,000 tons. Here is our icebreaker, the Bear, which we took as a protection for the personnel of the Rupert, and also to use exploring in dangerous ice areas. We took with us this time 150 Eskimo dogs, and more than 14,000 different kinds of items for 2 years away from civilization, where there were no supply depots around the corner. Day followed day, week followed week, as we penetrated the great Pacific. We headed straight south, and here we have an ordinary unprotected iron ship, sailing in seas no ship had ever been in before since the world began. It wasn't that we were any better than our predecessors, we simply had a more open ice here. We bucked the ice till we were finally stopped by an impossible pack. Impossible, at least, for the Rupert. But we wanted to see what was beyond the horizon. That's what we came for. And for that purpose, we had another string to our bow, aviation. We retreated a few miles and managed to find an open lake in the ice field. So we proceeded to put the plane overboard. We had to execute this maneuver as rapidly as possible, because we knew that under the influence of the wind and the tide, the fields would soon close in around the ship again. In fact, the ice is already beginning to close in. Our plan was to go south with our steamer until we were stopped by ice, and to take up the attack on the unknown with aviation. And now at last we're going to find out what was in the southern part of this mysterious part of the world. For after battling the bad weather, here we are 240 miles within it. We came to this strange phenomenon, ice islands. This was a strange and weird sea. Steaming through these ice islands was an eerie sensation. Here was the twilight of the gods, and we were curious to know what these somber giants were guarding. At long last, the dice fell our way, for the elements acted in our favor. The wind and the tide, which had closed the ice in around us, finally opened the pack so that we could break our way into more open sea. We had added nearly 500,000 square miles to the Pacific Ocean, and here is our journey's end. At length we sighted that great natural phenomenon, the ice barrier. I knew it would be taking a big chance, but it seemed the only way. As we started alongside the barrier with our ships, suddenly the edge shifted. Enough of ice falling to sink a fleet of ships. It seemed like a warning from Providence not to go alongside the barrier. We therefore had to unload from the bay ice. We had to put our tractors overboard, the engines running, to safeguard the lives of the drivers, as the ice was constantly breaking off. We had to get the tractors quickly away from the edge of the crumbling ice. We came within an ace of losing overboard our principal plane of exploration, the William Hawley. It was a critical moment. At times, as the ice broke, then our supplies would fall into the water. We kept a man on watch with a life preserver on line as a safeguard for the men working on the edge of the ice. We were working against time to finish unloading before the fall freeze-up, when the ships would have to return to civilization. You can see what a tough job we had to transport 400 tons of material through this area. The bay ice was constantly shifting and cracking, and pressure ridges were being formed as we worked by the irresistible force of the slowly moving ice cap. I have never seen men work so hard. With 24 hours of daylight, they could and often did work the clock around without stopping. We call this period the White Nightmare, and a nightmare it was. The hardest work of all was this man-hauling of sleds, which we had to do in order to get unloaded into Eskimo Huskies, still the backbone of polar exploration. They can go where no tractor could ever go. You can't do without them. Rupert must go back to civilization because the bay would soon freeze and she couldn't stand the ice. Now, the only person out of 150 men to get sick and who would have to go back on the Rupert was the doctor. At very great risk, I had to dispatch the bear northward to get another doctor, for I pledged myself not to risk men for a year on the ice without medical care. There would be anxiety over the bear. Suddenly, without warning, a storm hit us before we could get all of our food and other vital supplies stored away. And all hands had to work frantically throughout the storm to prevent the loss of food boxes under deep snowdrifts. The storm lasted for many hours. We found it chilly, working in the wind. And when it was over, there was a bit of digging to do. And here is the original commando.
The honor of leading this expedition belongs to Admiral Richard Byrd. It is a gratifying experience for this 58-year-old explorer, who in the past had to raise his own funds for exploration. and who now has the resources of the United States Navy at his command. In 1955, 2 years before his death, Admiral Richard Byrd departs on his 5th and last expedition. But it's not simply an unknown continent or a distant ocean that lures adventurers like Richard Byrd. As he put it, here is a door ajar through which one may escape from the noise and chaos of civilization into the solace and harmony of the cosmos.